Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear student of class 7 English version, welcome to class by Greenfield School and College. How are you today? I hope that you are very well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I'm also fine. Now I'm very delighted to get a unique opportunity to deliver you this topic. Specific to this topic, chapter 2, lesson 10 and 11. Today's lecture revision class. So, please listen to what I say. Lesson 10 about itikaf. Itikaf is an Arabic word. It means to stay or to confine oneself. In Islam, it means to stay in a mosque in the worship of Allah, living away from family and household sources is called itikaf. I am saying about the itikaf. Itikaf is an Arabic word. It means to stay or to confine oneself. What is the Islamic terminology of itikaf? In Islamic terminology, it means to stay in a mosque in the worship of Allah, living away from family and house of sources is called itikaf. Okay. What kinds of ibadat of itikaf? Itikaf is sunnate muakkada. That means for the kifaya. Sunnate muakkada. If one person does it one part of his local neighbors, it will be granted. But if nobody does it, then everybody will be responsible for this. The itikaf doer separates himself from all the worldly activities and to draw closer to Allah. As a result, he stays away from unnecessary gossiping and all sorts of sins. Okay. His spiritual relation with Allah becomes stronger. He starts to fear Allah very much because of praying alone in the mosque for a couple of days. So, the luxury of the world cannot divert him from praying to Allah. He finds peace in prayer. Itikaf has many benefits. Every year, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to perform itikaf regularly. It is said in the hadith that Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do itikaf during the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. He performed it until his death. After his death, his wives also followed this rule. There is a night called Laylatul Qadr in the month of Ramadan. This is a night full of benefits. This night is a better than 1,000 nights. The Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered to seek the Laylatul Qadr, which appears in any of the odd nights, that is 21st, 23, 25, 27 and 29th of Ramadan. One may be fortunate to have gained the Laylatul Qadr if one sits in the itikaf during this time. Okay, so itikaf is very important to acquire dearest to Allah. The rules do itikaf. That means how to perform itikaf. This is rule is itikaf is sunnah to do itikaf during the last 10 days. Last 10 days of Ramadan. The minimum time for itikaf is at least 1 day and 1 night. Besides the Ramadan month, itikaf which is mustahab can be done at any time. The woman can do itikaf at a specific place at her home. Okay, I am saying the rules are to do itikaf. It is sunnah to do itikaf during the last 10 days of Ramadan. Okay, the minimum time for itikaf is at least 1 day and 1 night. Besides the Ramadan month, itikaf which is mustahab can be done at any time. The woman can do itikaf at a specific place at her home. Now we'll discuss the Sadaqatul Fitr. Today's lesson, Sadaqatul Fitr. Sadaqatul Fitr is an Arabic word. What is called Sadaqatul Fitr? A certain amount money and assets one pays to the poor before one starts up for the Eid prayer on the day of Eid ul Fitr is called Sadaqatul Fitr. I am saying this question answer. A certain amount of money and assets one pays to the poor people one starts for the Eid prayer on the day of Eid al-Fitr is called Sadaqatul Fitr. We pay Sadaqatul Fitr in order to make up for our course of Sawm during the for our years of Sawm during the month of Ramadan and to gain the satisfaction of Allah. Sadaqatul Fitr is wajib for every independent Muslim who possesses extra nisab amount of wealth beside his basic needs. That means if one has 7.5 bhori gold of 52.5 bhori silver or the equivalent money and more than, that is called nisab. What is called nisab? If one has 7.5 bori gold or 52.5 bori silver, the or the equivalent money and more than, that is called nisab. The guardians will pay the Sadaqatul Fitr on behalf of children and slaves. Okay. The significance of Sadaqatul Fitr. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered to pay Sadaqatul Fitr in the year when fasting is made first. The Muslim observe fast during the month of Ramadan. The devotee themselves too, they are praying to Allah. Sometimes we might make some mistake while doing this. Paying Sadaqatul Fitr has been made wajib in order to make up those errors. If the poor get the fitr, they can also take part in the enjoy of part in the joy of it. Thus, the difference between the rich and the poor is reduced, and the love and sympathy increase. It is said in the Hadith, all the errors of observing Saum are removed, and the poor get a meal. Abu Dhabi. The rules to pay Sadaqatul Fitr. That means how to how to complete Sadaqatul Fitr. The owner of the nisab amount of wealth has to pay the Sadaqatul Fitr before the Salat of Idul Fitr. It can be said 2 days before Eid day, but it is better to pay Sadaqatul Fitr starting for the Idgah for the Eid al Fitr. If anybody pays after the Eid Salat, it will be granted, but he will get less sawab. Okay. The amount of Sadaqatul Fitr, about 1 3/4 kg wheat or barley, or the money equivalent to the price of it has to be paid as Sadaqatul Fitr. Okay, so dear student, I'm requesting you, when comes the Mahi Ramzan, in every day, the time, as a Muslim, we have to we have to pay Sadaqatul Fitr to the poor people before starting Eidgah. So Sadaqatul is very very important, very very helpful for the poor person. Okay. Now I will discuss the lesson 12, the moral teaching of Saum, that means fasting. The moral teaching of Saum, that means fasting, the Muslim carry out the order of Allah, their Lord, through Saum on one hand, and he improves his morality on the other. Some of the innumerable moral teachings of Saum are mentioned below. Number one, first teaching. First moral teaching of Saum, self-restraint. A man has some good qualities and some animal instinct as well. The animal instinct leads him towards the path of autocracy. The autocracy brings lawlessness, conflict, quarrel, and chaos in the society. Man needs to control his animal instinct by restraining himself in order to establish peace and security elsewhere in every share of life. The evil instinct in man, that means nerves, indulges himself to lead his life carelessly and to do all sorts of unlawful acts. The fasting in Ramadan controls all this endless freedom and autocracy and teaches human beings to have their halal meals at a specific time and to stay away from other biological needs. This fasting make oneself restrained from over overeating and autocracy. The training of this whole month fasting helps him to be self-restrained for the whole year. Okay. The second teaching of Psalm, sympathy. How will a man who never went without food feel the pain of hunger? Again, the man who was never sick will never feel the sufferings of illness. It has to be kept in the mind that no hungry and thirsty beggar is marked at the door of the rich and wealthy people. This is one of the teaching of Psalm. That means, in other words, the fasting also teaches us to express sympathy and extend our hands of cooperation towards the helpless and hungry people. Every believer, uh, every believer, be he rich or poor, king or the subject, goes without food from Subh Sadiq until sunset, and thus this training helps them realize the pains of hunger. During summer, days are bigger and the weather is very hot. Then the rich people or the poor people, however, they are equally able to realize the stings of hunger. Similarly, when a hungry man appears at the door of the person who is fasting, a feeling of sympathy or kindness will certainly arouse in the heart of the fasting person. The sincerity, compassion, and tolerance among the rich and the poor do not increase so much through other ibadat as they do through Sawm. In order to realize this fact, providing iftar to the person who first has thus been given emphasis. A fasting person arranges iftar for another fasting person, and this expresses the compassion and sincerity. Dear student, now discuss the third teaching point of Psalm, tolerance. So Psalm teaches us about tolerance. Tolerance or patience is a special virtue of a believer in Islam. Human beings are naturally impatient and restless. If a man is likely to get a thing, he becomes impatient to get it. If he is driven by his impulse and does whatever he likes to do, there will likely to be chaos in the society. The ill instinct of human beings can be controlled through tolerance. The 1 month long practice of Psalm is the only means of achieving patience. The person who first does not eat anything equal demands. This is an excellent example of science, patience. If anyone is unable to collect food due to his um, scarcity, then gaining patience through fasting can be the only support for him. This note protects the belief towards Islam, but um, Islam, um, but also smooth the family and society as well. Okay, so dear student, I am requesting you Sadaqatul Fitr and itikaf and the teaching of Sawm is important to succeed in the world life. Okay, so in every year when comes fasting, comes fasting Ramadan, first of all, take fasting and last 10 days of my Ramadan to stay itikaf in the mosque. Okay, from leaving family. Okay, so this is important sunnat muakkada or farz kifaya ibadat. Okay, that's all today's topic for the time being. May Allah bless you. Thank you all. Allah Hafiz, MD Muhammad Masud Rahman.